Hey you guys, this is Tom from Tom's Interesting Talk, and today we're going to talk about the Amazon off-brand pulse welder. This is an awesome little pulse welder. My wife and I picked this up on a good deal from an auction. We did not buy it from Amazon, and it was a very good savings. We got this little pulse welder for about 40 bucks, all the attachments included. My previous video I talked about, this little story of ours. But today, we're going to talk about the settings on this thing and what they mean, and I'm going to show you some different welds today on the different power settings, the different time intervals, and things like that. So let's get started. All right. So the AU, that stands for gold. And if you look at the AU setting, you see it has a power of 8. This thing goes up to 10. And then it's the time interval in microseconds, how much power or how much electricity is sent to the electrode for how long in microseconds. So right now this is 15 microseconds, which I mean is just a blink of an eye. I mean, it's not very long at all. This one here is going to be cobalt in chromium. And you see, it brings it down a little bit, and I'm guessing, of course, these are different tensile strengths of these metals, melting temperatures and all that kind of stuff, as you would know as you go through all the different settings on this thing. Time interval of 18 microseconds with 6 power. And then you have the hybrid setting. The hybrid setting is going to be different kinds of metals. Honestly, silver runs in that 5 to 6 range. If you're doing silver, this hybrid setting could be used for that. It's a little longer microsecond cycle. And I'm going to show you these different things. We're going to run through the power settings, and we're going to run through microsecond settings, and I'm going to show you what the weld looks like for each setting. You'll be interested to see that. Then we have the titanium, the Titan. So there's your titanium, which to me, titanium's pretty strong stuff, and this 6 seems kind of like a low power setting for titanium, but that's what it's at. And then the ortho is mainly for stainless steel. Dental orthodontics, basically, doing braces and wires and things like that in the orthodontic field. And then you have down here, you have your gas setting. So when electricity is going to the electrode, this setting shoot argon out for a half a second, a second, and 1.5 seconds. The argon is what's going to create the barrier so that the weld is cleaner. It's an inert gas. It's a royal gas, so to speak. And it's going to create a barrier so that slag and some of the other nastiness from the weld and the welding process doesn't show up. And that's why you have the argon or the noble gas to create that barrier. This is a really neat little machine. You can also, it doesn't even have to be on any of these settings. You can just go and just set this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and move this all the way down to the 1, and then we'll go ahead and move this all the way down. See, the lowest you can go is 1 power and 3 microseconds, basically. And you notice none of these are on. So basically we're in manual mode, and basically choosing our own power source and our own microseconds. And then this doesn't change as you change these. This doesn't change. I personally, I've been using this for a little bit now, and I don't see any reason to be on these longer gas cycles, basically, because it just doesn't seem like you need that with this machine. I'm sure there are situations where you will need those seconds, You'll need a little more gas, depending on what you're welding, and I imagine how much in a chain of welds that you're doing. But I for the small stuff that I'm doing here, I haven't had a use to change this gas cycle and add more argon to the surface of the metal as you're welding. It just doesn't seem like we need it. So today I'm going to go ahead and start by running some welds. So you'll notice when I run these welds that these welds will be anywhere from 1 millimeter to 1.5 millimeters, maybe just a tiny bit bigger, maybe 2 millimeters tops. If you put the micrometer on it, you'll see that they're not very big welds. And I'm going to start at this lowest setting, and I'm going to run welds down this piece of metal, and then I'm going to show you close up on how it looks. And you notice I just have just the one clip to my piece of metal, you know, that goes in here, and then that's all we really need. I have my protective glasses. Please don't forget your protective glasses. This thing will mess your eyes up. The first time that I reviewed this, I actually did not have my glasses, and by the time I was done, my eyes, you could feel it. You know, it's like having like sand in your eyes, basically. It's a weird feeling, you know, when you burnt your retinas a little bit with looking into the weld light. So don't do that. All right, let's run some of these. There's the first one at 1. Let's pump it up to 2. Let's pump it up to 3. Go up to 4. See, that weld's getting a little bit bigger. I'll show you. 5. You see it? It's getting a little bit bigger now. A little more power to it. 6. I don't know if that was the best one. There we go. And then 7. 8. 9. And 10. I mean, you can see when I show you the close-up view, but you can see all the different sizes of power, you know, it produces. So now let's go down to 1. And then we can up the microseconds here. There's 6. And I don't know if you can see it, but if you look at this dot in comparison to that dot, see, this is just how much spark, how much time the spark is going to be interacting with the metal. Which is very, very fast, but the more time, the larger the weld. So let's up this thing to 9. $12. 15. 18. and 21. $24, $27, and 30. And that's the highest setting. So I wanted to show you the close-up view of all these welds that we did. You see the different sizes. I mean, from, like I said, from like in the millimeter to 0.75 millimeter, you know, all the way up to power 10, which is in that 1.5 to 2 millimeters. So it's all there. This thing works really well. I've been impressed with it. I'm going to do a couple more welds here in just a second, and we're going to weld 2 pieces of metal together. And that's what we're going to do. And you really can do a lot of different things with it. Just tack the shit out of that thing. You know, it's really good. That's a really good weld. Everything's fine. Of course, you've got to use your jeweler skills and go clean it up now. But this thing rocks. Alright, so here we go, guys. We're going to weld these 2 pieces of metal together. I've got this. This little machine is going to do it no problem. And I'm going to demonstrate right now. There you go. Here we can even do like the tip of this thing here. Do it on the edge. You know, get your little. It's hot. Careful. Do it on this edge too. Works really good. Okay, here we go. We're going to do this little wire jump ring here. We're going to weld it together right now. You can see it's got a little split right there. And we're going to weld that baby together. Again, this is silver wire. We have it on setting 412 for silver, and I find that to be a good setting for this. Alright, here we go. Let's solder this jump ring. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Now let's complete some welds on this little seam right here to finish putting these two pieces of metal together. There you go. Just gotta clean it up. That thing is solid. So as you can tell, and as I've said in the past, I'm not a professional. My wife is the jeweler. I'm a layman at this. All I'm trying to do is demonstrate how this thing works. I do have working knowledge of welders, what it takes to weld, different steels, different tips, different kinds of welding, MIG, TIG, but I've never done micro welding like this. So this is new for me using this machine in particular, and I'm not the best at the specifics when it comes to jewelry. But I think I've demonstrated that this little machine works pretty darn well. Remember, any of you beginning jewelers out there, it takes time. It takes time to learn. It takes time to learn the different settings and how to feather the welds in. And don't think you can just pick this machine up and then just start welding the crap together. Super quick and super easy. It takes a little time. You got to play with it. You're going to have to burn a few of these tungsten tips. You're going to have to learn how to get the 25% grade or the 10 to 25% grade on your tip. No round striations on the tip. It needs to be straight from top to bottom on your striations when you're trying to ground your little electrode, your little tungsten electrode in the tip of this thing. Remember, it takes 10,000 hours to master a craft. It will take some time to learn how to use and manipulate this little machine, but as far as I'm concerned, it works really well, and with practice you will use it very well, and it'll make you a better jeweler. So from Tom's Interesting Talk, thank you for spending some time with me. I do appreciate you watching, and I hope you find this video to be interesting and you get a little education out of it. Hopefully. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Please like and subscribe. That's what makes it work.